Hi, my name is Michelangelo, and this is a YouTube channel, I guess kind of documenting my life, thoughts that I have, whatever's on my mind. Um, I don't expect this to get a lot of traction, but it's kind of just like I thought, when I have things that are on my mind or things that I'm thinking about, I might as well post them here. I have another YouTube channel, it's called MD Cubing. I'm a competitive Rubik's Cube solver, which is kind of like very niche, I guess. It's kind of cool. I consider it cool. A lot of people that I've met do, but to each their own, I guess. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering student as of recording this, and like I said, this channel is just mostly going to be documenting what's on my mind. I have a lot of different opinions, a lot of different things. I mean, we all do as humans. So I thought I would express my thoughts, what's on my mind, my opinions towards certain topics, and try to articulate them in video format. Along with that, I'm going to talk about things that I think are pretty interesting and try to explain them to the best of my ability. I've had a lot happen in my life, and I'm sure all of you have as well. We're all people. We all carry endless amounts of experiences and moments and knowledge that makes us unique. And because of that uniqueness, I thought I'd share mine. I have experienced quite a lot of things that probably can pertain to most people, at least some way or another. So without further ado, I thought I'd make the first video of this channel, besides the introduction, talking about something that has really affected my life, for the better and for the worst. We have to go back, or I have to go back to when I was in elementary school to really explain this. I used to weigh, at my peak I was like 300 pounds, and I'll put images up and everything, and it was really hard for me to go through that when I was a kid, and throughout high school. It was from when I was in 6th grade to 17, 16 years old, and that was probably the hardest time of my life, was being overweight. I was bullied a lot as a kid for being fat. I have other things too, like I'm autistic, so I inherently, being neurodivergent, people don't really, my social awareness is not that of someone who would be neurotypical, so I make mistakes in social situations that I don't perceive to be mistakes. So people can notice them, but I wouldn't. I have to learn it. Like reading sarcasm, for example, I'm very bad at. You could tell me a joke, but if you say it in a serious way, with a serious tone, I can't articulate that as a joke. I mean, if you say, the sky is blue, or like the sky is purple, my bad, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're joking. But if you say something that, isn't as obvious, it's difficult for me. So those were a setback, and being fat was an easy target. And one of the most difficult things I had to overcome was the weight loss. It took years, took multiple tries, and there was a lot of bumps along the way, definitely. Oh my gosh, being a regular guy, a regular man, I did not think it was possible to lose 100 pounds, let alone put on muscle, which is what I'm doing now. I mean, I would consider myself like a pseudo gym bro, kind of. I mean, I just go to the gym to help regulate my stress and emotions, but teach their own. I guess some people go to the gym for self-improvement. I do that as well, but it's lower on the bucket list. But to get back to the point, I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible to lose weight. I didn't think it was possible to do other things in my life, and I did it. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I'm just a normal guy. I've always perceived myself as being someone who's normal, and I did something that I did not think I could do. I did it the healthy way at first. Originally I was just cutting, so I was like trying to monitor my caloric intake, but also like exercising, because I joined my high school's wrestling team. But then after in the off seasons of wrestling, I wouldn't really monitor my health. So I joined wrestling junior year of high school to start losing weight, and from junior year of high school, in November of 2022 to I'd say like June of 2023, I went down from like 300 to like 265, and then over the summer kind of plateaued. I was like 250, and then in the late autumn, or like early autumn, fall time, like September, that's when I started to like lose the weight, and it was really noticeable. And then in 2024, in January, February 2024 is when I lost all of it. Like I was basically at a point where if I lost any more weight, I would be like critically unhealthy, because I'm a big guy. Like I'm 6'4", and currently right now I'm 210. But when I was younger, when I lost all the weight, still 6'4", but 180, which is like very not healthy for someone of my stature and my physique, and that was really challenging. A lot of the things that they don't tell you when you lose weight is, how to do it correctly, because losing weight is such a broad topic, or it's such a broad term, but what does that actually mean? That means you're cutting the fat from your body. But how do you do that? You can exercise, cardio is the best way to do it in my mind. Cardio mixing with, weightlifting will put on, build your frame. But if you just starve yourself, or, cut the calories that you're intaking so that your body's actively burning the fat, you're actually burning muscle along with it. So when you get down to that point, it's hard to say stop. It's hard to say, hey, we need to eat, because your body's so used to overriding that hunger function, and that was really difficult for me. I'm someone who can learn things exceptionally easily. It's so easy for me to understand things. If I wanted to right now, I could list off I could list off 500 digits of pi from memory. I could solve a Rubik's Cube in 5 seconds. I'm just very good at learning things. It's something I've always been gifted at. That's why I'm an engineer. I love solving problems. I love learning how to, fix things. And when I was a kid, it was just, when I was younger, I call myself a kid because I was, I'm a sophomore in college and I was a senior in high school. Those guys are kids to me. But when I was younger, I didn't know that was something I would have to round back up to. And, it took a while to put muscle on and then to eventually tell myself, hey, you're being unhealthy. And this conversation, this topic of weight loss, weight gain, all that stuff, it's very touchy because most people don't want to hear it. Most people don't want to talk about it. It's scary to think about, not necessarily scary. It's very off-putting, and it can come off as an attack to tell someone, hey, you're cramming too much Twinkies. That's mean. That's fucked up. You should never do that. You should never shame someone. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. Because I shouldn't say you shouldn't shame someone. If someone's injecting heroin into their body, that's a very crude and very awful example. You should not allow them to do it. But at the same time, it's the choice of ethics, and they're so complicated. I'm gonna make a whole video about black and white thinking and ethics and the scale of for example, a fat person comes up to you, they ask you for the nearest McDonald's. You know where the nearest McDonald's is, but you could point them left, which brings them to the McDonald's, or point them right, which puts them 20 miles away from the nearest McDonald's. What do? You notice they're fat, you notice they're actively killing themselves. Do you send them to the nearest McDonald's because they asked you that and that's what you're supposed to do as a citizen, or do you put them on a track to lose weight? It's all very complicated, but being fat in itself is no shade to anyone who's overweight. Please trust me. You're a human being, and I respect you for being a human being first and foremost. The way you look and appear doesn't matter to me. You're a person who feels things, has emotions, has consciousness. I care about you. But being overweight in itself is bad. It just is. You're cutting your life expectancy by a non-trivial amount. It's very noticeable how much damaged fat excess weight, can do to you. The plaque buildup in your heart, for example, can cause, heart problems. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States and the world, actually. All of these different things, very dangerous. Being healthy, actively exercising, very good. But there's so many nuances to weight loss and weight gain in general. It's such a broad topic. But I actively still think about it. Obviously, it's always on my mind. I'm currently trying to build up muscle. My goal is 220 by the end of my junior year. So not this year, but next year, 220 lean muscle. But it takes time. That's something you got to really hone into yourself. Is it takes time. It's not something you can just wish into existence and oh my god, it's there. No, it's something that's going to take you years, actively years. I did in a year and a half, losing 100 pounds. Don't do that. I was starving myself. Don't. And I'm not even embarrassed to admit that. Do not starve yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself in the long run. Better off, take it slow, count your calories, but make sure you're eating enough. That's what you need to do. That's the way to do it. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. And starving yourself is a way I wouldn't recommend. Like I said, it's bad. And go slow, take your time, and it'll work out in the end. I want to be 220 lean, but that's something I know will be years down the line. It's not easy. It's one day at a time, one step at a time. And one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do you motivate yourself? Like, what is motivating you to lift weights? What is motivating you to go to the gym, to stay consistent? Like, I'll put a Strava image on of me doing 10 miles. Like, I did that. That was insane. Like, I couldn't run a 6-minute mile. Did not think I could do that when I was fat. Like, I could barely run down the hallway before I started huffing and puffing. Like, it's all about consistency, and discipline. Like, motivation is very important. Don't get me wrong; it's incredibly important. But it's only going to help you so far, because once the motivation runs out, you need something that pushes you to continue, and that's what a lot of people just don't have. I think motivation is important, but discipline's better. But yeah, that's just kind of like my life experience with losing weight. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know what you guys think about it. But I thought it was a good, first introduction I thought it was a good first introduction to you guys, and to get to know you, and to express something that I really, it's something that matters a lot to me, and it's something that's actively in my life. So I thought you guys would like it, and this is coming from someone who considers himself slightly knowledgeable on the topic, as someone who's gone through it. And someone who understands that my opinion may not always be the best opinion. So yeah. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. I doubt anyone's gonna watch this, but take care of yourselves. Bye.